I still remember the exact moment a stylist looked at my old layers and said nothing at first, just that pause women recognize instantly. That pause told me everything my mirror had been too kind to say. Today I'm walking you through 5 haircuts that genuinely make women over 50 look years lighter, softer, and more awake. Not trendy, not harsh, just quietly correct for a mature face. Each one fixes something most of us are carrying around without realizing it. A cut that's gone flat, a length that's gone tired, a shape that stopped flattering us 5 years ago. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50, so you get real results, fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The long bob that erases a decade. Most women think length is the safe choice after 50. It isn't. Hair that hangs straight past the shoulders pulls every line on your face downward. And it does this quietly, over years, so you never catch it happening. A long bob that sits right at the jaw does the opposite. It lifts. Rosalind found this out by accident. She'd been growing her hair out for 2 years, convinced longer meant younger. Her granddaughter took one photo at a birthday dinner, and Rosalind almost didn't recognize the woman in it. Tired around the eyes, jaw disappearing into her hair. She booked a cut 3 days later. Here's the mechanism nobody explains to you. Long, straight hair creates one continuous vertical line that drags your whole face toward the floor. Your eyes follow that line down. A jaw-length bob breaks that line at exactly the point where your face needs the most lift, right at the jaw itself. It frames instead of hiding. The fix is specific. Ask your stylist for a blunt or slightly angled bob that hits precisely at the jawline, not below it, with the front pieces landing right where your jaw meets your ear. Tell them, I want the length to stop exactly at my jaw, blunt through the back, with soft face-framing pieces in the front. That phrasing matters. A bob cut too soft everywhere loses its lifting effect, and a bob left too blunt everywhere can look severe. You want structure in the back and softness in the front. What changes isn't subtle. Women who make this switch tell me the same thing every time. People start guessing them 5 to 7 years younger, without a single word about it. That's the snapback moment. It's not that anyone compliments the haircut directly. It's that they simply start treating you like someone younger, because your face reads that way now. There's a texture detail worth knowing too. If your hair has any wave or thickness, ask for slightly graduated layers underneath the blunt line. This keeps the bob from ballooning outward, and instead lets it skim the jaw the way it's supposed to. Fine, straight hair usually doesn't need this and can go fully blunt for maximum lift. Color plays into this too, though it's secondary to the cut itself. A soft, warm-tone bob photographs younger than one left cool and flat, because warmth reflects light back into the face instead of absorbing it. If you're not ready to change color, ask your stylist about a gloss treatment. It adds shine without commitment, and shine alone does a surprising amount of the lifting work here. The before and after on this one is the clearest of anything in this video. Before, hair past the shoulders straight, no defined ending point, jawline visually swallowed. After, a blunt or softly angled bob landing exactly at the jaw, face framing pieces at the front, structure underneath. Rosalind still tells people it's the single best decision she's made about her appearance in a decade. Not because it's dramatic, but because it's exactly right for her face shape, and nobody can quite put their finger on why she looks so different. Now here's the thing about the next cut on this list. It's the one stylists almost never suggest first, because it looks like it shouldn't work on textured hair. It does. And it might be the most flattering thing on this entire list for a very specific hair type. Part 2. The curtain fringe nobody tells you about. Everyone assumes fringe means commitment and upkeep. That fear alone stops most women over 50 from ever trying the single most face-lifting change on this list. Here's what's actually true. A curtain fringe, parted in the center, swept softly to either side of the face, doesn't need daily styling the way a blunt bang does. It grows into itself. And it does something almost no other haircut can. It softens the forehead and temples at exactly the 2 points where sun damage and fine lines tend to concentrate first. Colette avoided fringe for 15 years. She'd had a blunt, straight-across bang in her 30s that grew out awkwardly, and she swore off bangs forever after that. What she didn't realize is that a curtain fringe is a completely different shape. It's not bangs in the traditional sense at all. It's more like two soft wings that part naturally around your face. The fix, phrased exactly the way to say it to your stylist. I want a curtain fringe that starts at the crown, parts naturally down the center, and blends into my layers at the cheekbone. Nothing blunt, nothing that needs a flat iron every morning. This is the phrasing that gets you the soft, low-maintenance version instead of the high-maintenance blunt version. What makes curtain fringe specifically work after 50 is the way it interacts with your natural face shape as it changes over time. As we age, the forehead can appear slightly more prominent, and the temples slightly more hollow. Curtain fringe fills both of those areas with movement and softness, without covering the eyes or requiring precision trimming every 3 weeks the way a blunt fringe does. There's a real result here that surprised even Colette. Within about 2 weeks, 3 separate people asked if she'd done something with her skincare. Nobody clocked the haircut directly. They read the softened forehead and assumed it was a product change. That's the quiet power of this fix. It doesn't look like a haircut decision. It looks like you got more rest. One more detail that matters: length. The curtain fringe should hit somewhere between the cheekbone and the jaw when swept to the side. Any shorter and it starts to look choppy rather than soft. Any longer and it loses the framing effect entirely, and just becomes extra layers. Ask your stylist to check this length against your specific cheekbone height, not a generic measurement. Maintenance is genuinely minimal. A light texturizing spray and a quick finger comb in the morning is usually all it takes, since the center part and natural growth pattern do most of the styling work for you. This is precisely why it suits women who don't want a fussy morning routine, but still want that lifted, softened look every single day. Before, a bare, exposed forehead with visible temple hollowing and no softness around the face. After, a center-parted curtain fringe sweeping gently past both temples, blending into the layers at cheekbone height. Colette says the biggest surprise wasn't how it looked, it was how little work it turned out to be. I almost didn't include the next one on this list, because it's the cut most likely to get you stopped by a stranger and asked where you get your hair done. Let's talk about why. Part 3. The pixie that isn't what you think. Say pixie cut to most women over 50 and you'll watch their face close off immediately. They're picturing something severe, masculine, unforgiving. That picture is almost never what a well-cut pixie for a mature face actually looks like. Diane had that exact reaction the first time her stylist suggested it. She'd been managing thin, fine hair for a decade, teasing at the crown every morning, using volumizing sprays that stopped working by noon. She said no to the pixie 3 separate times before finally saying yes out of pure exhaustion with her routine. The reason a pixie works so well on fine or thinning hair specifically is mechanical, not just aesthetic. Thin hair struggles to hold weight. The longer it is, the more it falls flat under its own limited volume. A pixie removes that weight entirely. What's left is short enough that even fine strands stand up and hold shape without any teasing or heavy product. The exact phrasing to bring to your stylist matters enormously here, because pixie cut alone can get you the severe version. Say this instead: I want a soft, textured pixie with longer pieces at the crown for lift, and a slightly longer fringe I can sweep to the side, not buzzed at the sides, just tapered close. This gets you softness at the top and a gentle, not shaved, closeness at the sides. The version that reads elegant rather than severe. The single biggest mistake women make when finally trying a pixie is asking for it too short all over, which is exactly what creates that harsh look everyone fears. The crown needs length, usually 2 to 3 inches, so it can be lifted and textured. It's the length at the crown, not the shortness at the sides, that determines whether a pixie looks soft or severe. Here's the result that made Diane a believer for life. Her morning routine went from 20 minutes of teasing and spraying to about 90 seconds of finger styling with a small amount of texture paste. And the volume that used to disappear by noon now holds all day, because there's simply no weight left to drag it down. That's the trade nobody explains. You're not just changing your look, you're eliminating the entire problem that was frustrating you every single morning. There's an emotional layer here too, worth naming honestly. A pixie forces your face to be fully visible, no length to hide behind. For some women that's uncomfortable at first. Diane said the first week felt exposed. By week 3, she said it felt like the most honest her hair had looked in years, because there was nothing left to disguise anything. Before, chin-length hair, flat and weighed down at the crown, requiring daily teasing to hold any shape. After, a soft textured pixie with lift at the crown and a gently tapered side, styled in under 2 minutes. Diane still gets stopped in grocery stores by women asking who cuts her hair. There's one more shortcut coming up that works even when a full pixie feels like too much change at once. And it might be the easiest transition on this entire list. Part 4. The shag that fixes thin hair without cutting it short. If a pixie still feels like too big a leap, there's a middle ground cut most women over 50 have never seriously considered, mostly because it sounds like something from the 70s. The modern shag has almost nothing in common with that memory. Marguerite came to this one from a specific frustration. She didn't want short hair, but her shoulder-length cut had gone shapeless. Not bad exactly, just nothing. No movement, no personality, just hair that existed on her head without doing anything for her face. The mechanism behind a shag is layering, but a very specific kind. Unlike a bob, which relies on one clean line, a shag uses choppy, irregular layers cut at different lengths throughout the head. On fine or thinning hair, this is almost a magic trick. Each layer is short enough to have its own bounce, so instead of one flat sheet of hair, you get dimension and movement even without volumizing products. Tell your stylist exactly this. I want a modern shag with choppy layers starting around my chin and continuing through the ends, plus some texture at the crown for movement. Not blunt anywhere, everything should feel a little undone. That phrase, a little undone, is doing real work here. It signals you want the effortless, lived-in version rather than a rigid, sprayed shag that fights your natural texture. Where the shag genuinely outperforms other cuts for thinning hair is at the crown specifically. Because the layers there are shortest, they sit up and away from the scalp rather than lying flat against it. This creates the appearance of density even in areas where the hair itself hasn't gotten any thicker. It's an optical correction, not a magic regrowth trick, but it works remarkably well. Marguerite's result came faster than she expected. At her granddaughter's engagement party, 3 weeks after the cut, someone asked if she'd started a new hair vitamin regimen. She hadn't changed a single thing about her diet or supplements. The layers alone were reading as thicker, healthier hair, because visually dimension and thickness get processed by the eye as the same signal. A quick note on upkeep. The shag needs a trim roughly every 8 to 10 weeks to keep the choppy layers from growing into a shapeless mass again, which is slightly more frequent than a one-length cut. In exchange, you get a style that requires almost no daily effort, a little texture cream scrunched through damp hair, and it dries into shape on its own, no round brush or blow-dry technique required. Before, shapeless, single-length shoulder hair with no visible movement or dimension. After, a choppy, chin-through-end shag with lifted, textured layers at the crown. Marguerite says it's the first haircut in 15 years that made her actually want to skip the blow-dryer, because it looks intentional, even wash and go. Last one on this list is the quiet favorite among stylists themselves. The cut they almost never suggest first because it sounds too simple to work this well. Part 5. The layered crop stylists actually choose for themselves. Here's something worth knowing before we get into the final cut. When you ask stylists what they genuinely choose for their own mother, their own aunt, a huge number land on the same answer. A layered crop just past the ear. Not because it's trendy, but because it's nearly foolproof across face shapes, hair textures, and thicknesses. The reason this one flies under the radar is that it doesn't have a dramatic name. It's not a pixie, it's not a bob, it's not a shag. It's simply short, layered, and precise, which makes it sound boring on paper and look remarkable in person. What makes a layered crop specifically effective after 50 is where the layers get placed. Rather than layering evenly throughout, this cut concentrates the shortest layers around the face and temples, gradually lengthening toward the back and crown. That front concentration is what does the actual age-softening work. It creates gentle wisps around the cheekbones and jaw that catch light and soften the transition between hair and skin. The phrasing that gets this right. I want a layered crop just past the ear, with the shortest layers concentrated around my face and temples, gradually longer toward the back. Soft wisps at the cheekbone, not choppy chunks. The word wisps matters specifically here. It tells your stylist you want fine, feathered pieces rather than thick, blocky layers, which is the difference between this looking soft versus looking abrupt. This cut also solves a problem most women don't realize they have until it's fixed. The awkward in-between length that's too short to style easily and too long to hold shape on its own. A layered crop eliminates that dead zone entirely by giving every section of hair a clear, intentional length and purpose, rather than one length trying to do everything. The result stylists report most often with this cut is the fastest styling time of anything on this list, often under 90 seconds with just fingers and a light texturizing cream, because the wispy face framing layers are cut to fall into place on their own rather than needing coaxing. Women who switch to this say the biggest shift isn't how they look in photos, it's how little they think about their hair on an ordinary Tuesday morning. One detail that separates a good layered crop from a mediocre one. The back should never be left completely blunt, even though it's the longest section. Ask for soft point cutting at the ends back there too, just less aggressive than at the front. A fully blunt back paired with wispy front layers creates an unfinished, mismatched look. The whole head needs to feel like it belongs together. Before, uniform ear-length hair with no concentrated softness near the face, an awkward in-between length with no clear shape. After, a layered crop with wispy, face-framing layers at the temples and cheekbones, gradually longer toward the back, styled in under 2 minutes. This is the cut stylists quietly reach for themselves, and now you know exactly why. So there you have it, 5 specific cuts, 5 specific reasons they work, and 5 specific phrases to bring straight to your stylist so you get exactly what you're picturing, not a rough guess at it. From the jaw-length bob that lifts your whole face, to the crop that stylists quietly choose for themselves, every single one of these solves a real problem instead of just following a trend. You now know more about what actually works for your hair after 50 than most women walking into a salon blind. Which one of these 5 are you most tempted to try first? The bob, the fringe, the pixie, the shag, or the crop? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. Next week I'm breaking down the coloring mistakes that make these exact cuts look 10 years older if you get them wrong, so you'll want to see that before your next appointment. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.